And I think what makes me the most upset about this whole Israel situation is the way that certain, Christians are talking about this. Like it's the way that basically there is like it's just I don't even want to go. I'm going to go here. This is fine. So, Joel Berry, who's the editor of the Babylon Bee, who I liked for a while. I saw him on the great Owen Strand's podcast. I love Dr. Strand. And so I saw him on Owen Strand's show once, and then essentially he's been viciously pro-Israel. Evangelical Christian. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And so he put out maybe the most insane tweet that I've ever seen in my entire life, I think last week. Because last week, if people have seen the news, the Israeli government bombed the only Catholic church in Gaza. The only Catholic church in Gaza. And I forget there was a gentleman who was in the running to become the Pope before Pope Leo got inducted as the Pope inside the Catholic Church. I think Pizzaballa, I think is how you pronounce him. There is a high-ranking Catholic cardinal in Gaza right now. And the Israeli government sent a missile and blew up that Catholic church. And what Joel Berry said is that, hey, those Christians, they're no different than Hamas. I'll put it as the thumbnail for people to read it. They support Hamas. They're asking for it. And I'm like, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. How dare you, as a Christian, say that people who profess their faith in Jesus Christ in a place like Gaza, where it is not okay to say that most of the time, that they're asking for it to get blown up by the Israeli government. How dare you say something like that? How dare you, evil person, to say something like that? I mean, that's the epitome of a girl asking to get assaulted if she's walking on the street at night and revealing clothing. And this rise of like this Christian Zionism, this kind of like this zeal against we have to defend the Israeli government at all costs. I don't care what they do to the Palestinians. I don't care what they do, whatever. I think Hamas is evil. I think they all should be wiped out, maybe, probably. Yes, they all should be wiped out. I don't like killing people, but if they're going to kill other people and they need to be stopped, we need to do what we need to do, probably. And I hate that because I hate death in every single way. I don't like the death penalty. I don't like war. I don't like abortion. I don't like any of it. Hamas is evil, and we should try to get rid of them. But also, blowing up a Catholic church, the only Catholic church, when there is a sitting cardinal trying to help those people in Gaza, is an evil thing to do. And this issue is not only divided only the MAGA right, but the Christian right. The MAGA right is divided because of our opposition to foreign conflict and our Christian and non-Christian counterparts. It's one of the biggest fractures in the MAGA movement right now. But like anything, it is the Christians that have to take the lead here on how this is going to go if we're going to get this right. The Christians are going to need to be the ones who lead here morally on the way that we handle all this stuff, the Epstein thing, whatever, etc. The war in Gaza. Christians need to take the lead here because clearly this is not going well. Jewish people and Muslim people in that part of the world will never get along ever. Ever. They're bound by the laws of their religion to go at each other. And it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. So Christians need to be the voice of reason here. This is why Christianity is the one true faith. It is the only way to a rich and prosperous life. Because they are not bound by law, they are bound by morality. So, the question that I've been really ruminating over in my head, I'm really agonized over this, is that whether Christians have an obligation to support Israel, because I've heard both. And so, I saw this video by Mark Driscoll, Pastor Mark Driscoll, a man I look up to a lot, and he had a very interesting take on this. And so, and I think it's the right take. And I don't know, really, I think Pastor Mark is pro-Israel, and that's fine. Pastor Mark can have his opinions, and I think he bases everything in theology, so I might be wrong about this. But what Pastor Mark said is that, in general, loyalty is not a thing. There is no such thing as loyalty except to God. Be loyal to your God, don't be loyal to man. And then that's correct. If you were a Christian, If someone is not loyal to your God, you cannot be loyal to them. Period. You can love them. You can wish them well. But to be loyal to them, to trust them, to excuse their sin, no. No. Not okay. You are loyal to God first. God is the highest priority in the Christian faith. It is not your wife. It is not your children. It's not your job. It's not your creative works. It's not your political affiliation. Nothing is above God. If someone is off kilt from God, that's what sin is, being out of line with God's plan, with God's law, with God's commandments. You cannot be loyal to yourself, to you, to a political party, to anybody. Therefore, what Christians should be loyal to are those who keep God's commandments, not people who use them as talking points, not the Joel Berrys of the world, that demonic man that says that blowing up Catholics is okay. It's not okay. It's not. Blowing up people isn't okay at all. So although I will say, in a vacuum, Christians should probably support Israel. And in a vacuum, I support Israel. Because Israel is where our religion comes from. That part of the world is where our religion comes from. However, the government of Israel, this is my biggest thing. This is the biggest thing with anybody who gets labeled an anti-Semite seemingly these days. And there are actual anti-Semites out there. I just listened to one on a podcast the other day. He hates Jews. I don't hate Jews. I love Jews. But the government of Israel has become so corrupt, so unconscionable, so much so that they are actively killing Christians and have oppressed multiple Christian populations in that region of the world for years. For years. That we cannot support them, in my view, as a Christian. They're anti-Christianity by the way that they've behaved and the way they're currently behaving. And even people that are really Mike Huckabee, maybe the most pro-Israel person in Donald Trump's cabinet, is saying, whoa, you're bombing a Catholic church now? Can't do that. Michael Knowles, very, very pro-Israel, religious Catholic. I draw the line when you bomb Catholic churches, as we should, by the way. This should not be a confusing issue at all, but we've turned it into one. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind. So, but on the other side as well, we can't support Hamas either. Because Hamas wants to murder both Jews and Christians. Hamas does not like Christianity either. They don't like Jewish people. They don't like Christians. I don't think there's an argument about that, to be honest. So, okay, we can't support this current Israeli government. We can't support the Hamas, the Palestinian government. What are we going to do? What should Christians think? So, Christians, again, as Jesus commanded in Matthew 5, it's opening on the Sermon of the Mount, I believe. Blessed be the peacemakers, because they shall inherit the kingdom of God. We must be on the side of peace, on the side of life. Christianity is the religion of life. We are the religion of peace. We do not kill people. It's in our commandments. In fact, if we have a violent thought towards someone, we're told to told the other cheek, to pray for those who persecute you. This is not saying to be passive, to allow sin to come in and corrupt this. But Christians should not be warmongers. We should not seek to blow people up and to cheer on people that are blowing each other up and killing kids. It's not okay. It's not. And again, I want to, this is a big, the quote-unquote pro-life Christians love to talk about being pro-life when it comes to abortion. And I'm for that. I'm one of those people, by the way. I think abortion is the great moral evil in our history of our country. They love to talk about it when it comes to abortion, and good. But when it comes to other pro-life topics, war, the death penalty, goes right out the window. You never hear that discussed, ever. And that is sinful, and that is unrighteous behavior. That is unrighteous to say that. Any Christian who is cheering blowing up a Catholic church is not a Christian. They're not. They have a very warped, twisted view of the faith. Anyone who cheers on the murder of a child, the abuse of a child, abortion, the death penalty, whatever, they're going to have to talk with God about that. That's all I'll say. That's a conversation I don't want to have with God when I die. I would like to be on the right side of that as far as my reading of the Bible is concerned. But I'm telling you, man, there's a conversation to be had with God there, and I don't know if it's going to be a good one, so I'm just going to steer away from it. And I recommend that you do as well.